Migrations and dependencies. In this video, I will discuss what migrations are, why we are using them, and what dependencies are expected to be in place to get this to work. To understand what a migration is, first you'll have to understand what Entity Framework Core is. So what is Entity Framework? Essentially, it's an open source framework that is offered as an extension to ASP.NET and ASP.NET Core MVC applications. Entity Framework gives developers a way to automate the process of database creation and maintenance. It also gives a solid way to enforce parallels between the entities in the database and classes in the data model. I'll show you what I mean by giving a general example. In Entity Framework, there are several ways to link a project with the database. Which one you choose depends on which resource exists first, the database or the code. In OpenAIR's case, the code existed first, so we are using what is referred to as code first. The process works something like this. You have an MVC application that you are developing, and you are reaching the point where it makes sense to start working with the database. If you've been using the MVC design pattern properly, there shouldn't be too much of a leap. All your data classes should exist in the data model. From there, you make sure the attributes in the classes follow a specific syntax that Entity Framework is expecting. When that is finished, you'll create a data context class that extends the class DBContext. In that class, the entity relationships are defined as well as the location for the database. When the context is finished, aside from some minor changes you'll make in the .web project, you're ready to start using Entity Framework to automatically create a special class based on your classes and the DB context. This class is called a snapshot. After the snapshot is created, you can tell Entity Framework to go ahead and build the database that looks like the one defined in the snapshot. I'll show you how to do this in a later video. This process is what is referred to as a migration, roughly speaking. Dependencies. What needs to be in place to start using migrations? Here's a short list. Windows 10 Education. Because we're using ASP.NET Core, developing on a Linux machine should technically be possible. Keep in mind that there won't be any examples on how to get the development process working in Linux. All documentation and tutorials are Windows-based. Visual Studio 2019 Enterprise. This is the most current version at the time of this recording, although it should be forward compatible. Previously discussed packages for C#, ASP.NET Core, and MVC. Also, it should be noted our group developed on our school laptops, although that isn't necessary. Next video, I'll have you open Visual Studio and show you some tools it offers that we'll be using to run a migration. Thanks for watching.